Hey guys, it's Kayla, your favorite IBD girly, and welcome back to my channel. It's been so long. 3 weeks. I know, 3 weeks since I posted my last video, but I have been going live twice a week. So if you missed me, you should be popping into the lives to hang out with me. But in this video, this is going to be a recap of my time as an IBD patient reporter at the Crohn's and Colitis Congress this year in San Francisco. Thing that I also said I want to start doing at the beginning of my videos is doing a little check-in. I'll ask you how you are really. I know I used to do that, but how are you really? How are you really doing? I'm exhausted. I am tired. I do need to slow down, but I'm having so much fun right now that it's kind of hard to do that. I do want to do like a music and book check-in. So what are you listening to? If you listen to music, what are you reading? What are you watching if you prefer to watch things? I'm watching a lot of YouTube right now. So much YouTube. And I am reading When I Think of You by, was it Maya? I want to say her last name is Ariel. It's my media club pick for this week, Chronically the Illest Media Club on Instagram. But we're reading When I Think of You, and I am wrapped. This book has me wrapped around the pinky. I can already feel this is going to be one of my favorite books. This book, and I also just finished a book called Outdrawn by Deanna, I forget her last name. I want to say it's Gray, but it's a sapphic romance. Frenemies to lovers. Ate it up. I love it. I need to get it physically because I read it on my Kindle. And then music-wise, I am enjoying, of course, I'm listening to Twigs' new project, The Weeknd's new project, Doechii, everything that I already love. I feel like I already talk about so much over on Instagram and on TikTok. But I've been loving this project by this smaller artist called Chloe the God, I believe is how you pronounce her name. Let me see. What is it? Is it Chloe the God? Chloe the God, yes. I don't know if that's gonna focus, but yeah, it's called I Feel Different Every Day. I love every single track of this album. She's coming to DC in a few months, and I want to move a few mountains to get there, but we'll see. And then I love some tracks from Tate McRae's new project, and the new tracks that were posted on all the other projects that already came out last year. But yeah, check-in was cute. Let me know what you guys are into right now. I'm going to respond. I love new recommendations. But yeah, let's move on. Let's get into the video. So the first day I got in was super busy. And I between the first and second day, because when you're traveling time zones, I feel like that first day kind of morphs together. So I didn't get any YouTube footage for technically the first 2 days that I was there. But the second day of the official Congress, I got YouTube footage for, and I do have notes on my iPad because I just want to make sure I'm giving you guys all the information. This was such an informative event, and I'm so thankful that I was able to go, and I'm in a position in my life and in my health and I'm able to even travel. But a big part of that is due to having an audience like you guys that are watching it. A lot of you guys are IBD patients or care enough just to tune in and see what this little sick girl has to say. So I'm so thankful. You guys will see it all over the things that are being published in the next probably 4 months, because there's a lot of things I've had to do interviews for in the past 2 weeks that I constantly just say I'm so thankful and I'm so privileged to be in a position to be able to do something so cool. So like I said before, this YouTube vlog is only going to be of day 2. I'm going to talk about some of the things I liked from day 1 and just overall towards the outro. But for day 1 and the half a day that I was in at first, I did do TikTok vlogs and Instagram vlogs for those days. So sorry, my tablet is pinging because somebody is sending me something. But I will be linking links to those videos in the description so you can go and get caught up and see all the fun stuff that happened those days. But let's just get into some footage.
Organizations who've helped advance that, and 38 is still not enough. We funded and supported 289 different research projects over those 4 years, and so many more accomplishments. If you're interested in hearing or seeing more, please
to conception. It should not be taken during pregnancy. You want to minimize steroid use during pregnancy. You don't want to say, well, I'm going to stop their medicine, and if they flare, we're going to give them steroids, because they actually...
So these first clips talked about IBD and pregnancy. I was in like 2 sessions that talked about IBD and pregnancy, and I've talked about this before, but personally, I don't have the desire to have children. I don't really even like kids. I've never liked kids, and this has nothing to do with my diagnosis at all, because it's actually not a really high percentage, or not a really high chance of passing IBD along to your kids. It's just like my genes alone, but it is a possibility. But that really has no impact on my like major decisions as to why I don't want to have children. But literally, I just try to stay open to this information because, one, I know a lot of people that follow me. Some of my main demographics are women. Like, I have a lot more women watching my page than men, and it's just something, it's a common question when you see women with ostomies or women that had a lot of surgeries, can you still have children? So I try to be open and receptive to the information so I can like pass it out, but it's not something that I really listen in on because of personal impact and like, personal interest. So overall, they talked about the research that's been done on fertility, which is lower in IBD patients. It's lower due to the chronic inflammation and everything that's going on with the immune system in IBD patients. But also, if you've had several repeated pelvic surgeries, like IPA surgery or J-pouch surgery, like I've been through, it also can lower your fertility. You have a lower ovarian reserve. If having children is important to you, the doctors recommended that earlier is better. And they have done all this research. It's really cool stuff that's happening. But generally, when it comes to gathering information due to like clinical trials and things like that on new medications, pregnant women are usually not included in these clinical trials. So it makes giving information to patients that are either pregnant, want to get pregnant, things like that, very, very hard. But a quote that I really, really loved, one of the doctors said was, "Don't treat women with fear, treat them with science." And so they really broke down the science in these sessions. The next section, which wasn't my favorite, but was the couple of sessions that I found to be the most interesting, were on AI and technology. And I had a lot of conversations while I was in Congress, and I was like, it's very, very strange because as a writer, I am inherently against AI. I don't think there's a lot of things that I'm just not team AI for. But when it comes to being a patient and realizing how much AI can help in science, I gotta stop and ponder that for a minute. So basically, one of the things I found to be the coolest was they're currently using AI scribes to analyze electronic health records. So that the acronym is EHR. So if you catch me using that, that's what I'm talking about. But basically, they're using EHRs from colonoscopy reports, outpatient progress notes, and serious adverse events and treatment. And from those things, they're looking at endoscopic subscores, they're looking at abdominal pain, diarrhea, bloody stools, and advanced therapies. And they're going to compile all of that information and kind of be able to just analyze and make judgments and treatments probably a lot better and a lot faster. And there are limitations, though, to using these kind of softwares. Some of it is privacy, some of it is cost. And right now they're also still training these scribes because the scribes are kind of used to open data that's been on the internet, and they're not really highly specific or highly trained for medical settings yet, or like the information that they need to be processed. So they're training those right now, which I think is really, really cool. On the technology front, they talked a lot about a sweat biosensing platform. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation actually has posted about this device before, and I think it's so cool. but overall it's a wearable device. You put it on your arm or whatever, and they use the sweat to just analyze different things about your body and how that can affect your IBD treatment. And one thing that I didn't know prior to going to Congress is that they've used this on a slew of different like medical, or like a slew of different illnesses. One of them that I can really remember, I believe, was like some kind of kidney disease or something, but it's been used a wide scope. It wasn't just developed for IBD. And this biosensing platform is going to help patients regain control of their disease. It provides continuous monitoring and on demand analysis access, and it allows patients to take back their care.
Experiences psychological distress that gets in the way of them living their daily life and doing the things that matter to them, and that's 50% higher. But also psychosocial issues, because after all.
So in moderate to severe disease, no question, patients need to be on advanced therapies. And so, but what can we do, right? Is there something that we can add? Absolutely. This is a study that looked at various different studies implementing diet as adjunctive using exclusive enteral nutrition. And by far and large, we found that patients who were on
After that, I went to the exhibit. There is more footage of this in my vlog of day 2. I know, like 100%. But there was a lot of sponsors for the event set up, a lot of pharmaceutical companies and like different medications that IBD patients use. I actually had breakfast there on day 2. The first day I did not eat enough and I was super hangry and just like exhausted. And that's probably why I didn't get a lot of YouTube footage either. But I recorded in front, I had a lot of conversations in this exhibit room, but I recorded in front of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation booth and the American Gastroenterology, I believe, Association is how you say the full thing. The AGA's booth, we recorded there too, and there was a lot of footage up on my Instagram like the day of. I promise you guys, you will never miss out on stuff from me if you're following me on Instagram, because I generally post there, if not real time, like that's as real as it's gonna get for me. So that exhibit booth was super cool, super big. Again, there's a really like a wide shot of the full thing in that vlog that I posted on day 2. And then after that, we had the president's corporate circle reception, which is really cool. Basically, a lot of people that sponsored the foundation or sponsored Congress, people that have like boosted our initiative. So I believe, who was there? I know Johnson & Johnson was there. I believe like Centrum. A lot of like those really big, I think Takeda was there. Like a lot of those really big like pharmaceutical medical companies. And then after that, we had our final closing like dinner gala. I really didn't get a lot of general because it was just so late and I was tired and I was so hungry. I've been talking about food since lunch because I already knew that like the food that was there, like I really wasn't gonna be crazy about it. Like it was okay, but I just generally, unless it's like catered or somewhere that's really known for their food, every time I go to a conference, I don't really like the food that they like provide. But I found out towards the end of the night that I could have went to the staff room and got better food because technically I was a staff member for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. So I know that for my next event that I go to. And then after that, I went to a really, really cute diner. I think it was called Mel's Drive-In Diner. And they had vegan shakes, gluten-free bread. Just a lot of really cool dietary, like a lot of really cool options for people with dietary restrictions. And I actually had dinner with somebody that used to be on the National Council of College Leaders for the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, which is the organization that I am currently on as the communications chair. And just a really cute, like about hour 30 minutes combo. We had kind of been together like the whole entire day too. And then I went home and got ready for my flight because this was my first flight where I had to fly like layover, and it was going well. We were on time, but then I wanted to get some more Starboard, which is a chain in California, but the batter that they fry their tenders in is gluten-free, and they were so good, and the chicken was so good. And because the kiosk wasn't working at the airport, I almost missed my flight. Like, literally, gate closed. I'm the only person that hasn't gotten on the airplane. My mom and my aunt were waiting for me. So that was an experience, but there'll be some clips. You guys will see the clips. Maybe I'm putting in the clips right now. I don't know. But again, there's a full travel vlog up already on my socials, and it's all gonna be linked. It's all gonna be linked in the description box, so you guys can go and check those out. Wrapping this bad boy up. My favorite session was on advances in pediatric patients. If you've been following me for a while, if you don't know, I'm going to tell you now. I was diagnosed when I was 17, and I was definitely having symptoms at 16. The first team that I saw wasn't a pediatric team, and they dropped the ball, frankly. Like, I was with them. It probably wasn't a full year, but what I have come to learn in my experience in the IBD community is depending on how you start off treatment can determine a lot of different things, and my team dropped the ball. So when I finally transferred over to, I go to VCU, Virginia Commonwealth University Medical Center, and I'm in, or Health Center, I don't really know what the full like thing is called, because there's a university and a hospital. And when I transferred over to their pediatric team, it was love at first sight. I'm still with them. I've been with them for the past 4 years. And so that was a very long-winded introduction, but the specific doctor that was presenting, I've seen him present before last year when I went to the Colors of Gastrointestinal Illnesses Equity and GI event in Atlanta. And he talked about social determinants of health and how socially disenfranchised patients don't have health equity. There isn't an equal access to treatment. So the way their disease is treated is not going to be equal to their counterparts. And that leads to higher rates of hospitalizations, higher rates of surgeries, worse disease patterning. Like, there is medical racism and there's medical stereotypes. And I think a lot of people in professional environments that are primarily being sponsored like nonprofit, and you have the pharmaceutical companies like around you and attending sessions with you, a lot of people walk on eggshells because they don't want to say the wrong thing, because doctors can get blackballed too. But I appreciate that he was a black man and he got up there in front. I mean, it was majority white and brown people, and by brown I mean Indian, and he got up there and he talked. He was a voice for not only the brown community that was there, but, you know, to get these other doctors, you know, to open up their mind a little bit and get them to at least start asking the questions. You know, when you walk into the room, it's think about what this patient could have possibly already been through or will have to go through. Because if you are on like state insurance or government assisted insurance, it's proven that you have worse treatment than people on private insurances. So just knowing the tools that you'll need to have in your arsenal, not even to be a good advocate, of course, but just to have understanding. He also said that a doctor's like number one goal is to earn its patient's trust. And I just resonated that with so much. He also said the right treatment for IBD includes a combination of drugs, times, dose routine, monitoring, and response to societal level variables. And that's what all the things that I just got into. But the Q&A session of that was really, really good. They also talked about racial similarities and how they don't always equal connection, because just because I am a black woman doesn't mean I'm going to relate to a Latino man or somebody in the LGBTQIA community. There's just a lot of different things. Just because you are in a minority, a social minority, doesn't mean that, again, everyone within those social minorities they have like a universal experience, because that's not true. So Yeah, that was like that was a lot of information at once, and best believe at the Congress, it felt like an information overload a lot of times. But like I said, I'm super thankful to be in a position where I was able to do something like that. And there is going to be a webinar coming up on March 6th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. There's a post up on my Instagram where Natalie and I and so many other doctors and other people that came together for the Congress are going to be talking about a lot of things that happen. So you'll get a lot of my perspective and her perspective. She is very big in the IBD pregnancy, IBD mom, switching over to biosimilar space. So it's nice to have, I feel like you do get a full perspective or a fuller perspective when you combine both of the things that are really important to either of us. She was the other IBD patient reporter again. So that's going to be March 6th, the day before my birthday. We are on a road to get to 5K subscribers before my birthday on March 7th. And we are over halfway there. I fully believe that we're going to like smash that goal and it's going to be great. And if we do get to 5K subscribers, then we are going to name my stoma together on live. I didn't name my other stomas because they were supposed to be temporary. I didn't want to have that connection and just have it be a whole thing because I'm a crybaby. So we're gonna name this one and we're gonna do it for my 22nd birthday. I can make a longer video about my feelings towards birthdays and how that's just a crazy time for me, but that'll be a couple days before we do that celebration. I fully believe that we're gonna do that celebration. And then I have a blog post going up on the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation's website, probably sometime this week, after it gets edited and everything. I already turned in the article. They have all my pictures. But I'll be sure to at least post it. I try to remember the community tab on here. I really do. But I will for sure be posting it on Instagram and on TikTok. So make sure you guys are following me over there. What else has been happening? The first episode for my Osto Eats series. Osto Eats, we're gonna make probably a longer video that goes up about that. Maybe some beat behind the scenes and how I record things at a restaurant that's a little bit more relaxed. But essentially, I want this series to give a little bit of power back to patients who are in a process where they're kind of at home and they're doing the treatments and they're in that process where they have dietary restrictions, but they want to enjoy their food too, because I know for a while I did not have a lot of joy when I was eating because everything hurt or my food was so bland, and I felt like I couldn't eat out. So this series is highlighting a lot of local, for now, restaurants that cater to people with dietary restrictions and accessibility needs. So for me, I have an ostomy. So it's really nice when a restaurant has not only the dietary restriction friendly menu, but also a clean restroom so I can dump my bag and not feel icked out when I have to return back to my table to eat. So I'm so excited. That video is going to be linked. But I went to this really cute cafe for the first video. I don't want to get into it too much on this video. We'll talk about it more in the future. But that was live this week. Super duper cool to see all the response to that. We have some more videos coming up with some FAQs that I've been getting since I've been going live. Some more bookish stuff. I want to do a readathon. I want to start recording longer versions of the monthly reading wraps that I post over on TikTok. A lot of cool stuff I have planned. I just have to make sure that I'm not spreading myself too thin, and it will all, come together in due time. But if you stayed this long, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions about Congress, let me know. Either I can make a follow-up video and get them answered in some capacity. I'm always in my comments responding to things. I'm just super duper appreciative for, again, the response I've been having on my videos across my platforms, to the people that have came and hung out with me in live. Thank you so much. And I'm just excited for this year and just to give you guys so much more, because you guys have been amazing to me. Make sure you're listening to your body. being kind to yourself, drinking water. You're doing the best that you can, and you're going to keep going. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, do all of the fun YouTube internet things so that I can continue to bless you guys. And I will see you in my next video. Bye. I also don't know if I said this before, but the Crohn's and Colitis Congress is a joint effort between the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation and the AGA, which I believe is the American Gastroenterology Association. Didn't want to leave that out.